Welcome to the Why Not podcast with me, Chrissy Hawkins. In a world where everybody asks you why, I'm here to ask why not. So sit back and relax or walk and listen and join me on this journey as we try to answer this never-ending question: what makes people say, why not? Okay, so this is going to be hopefully third time lucky of welcome back to Why Not, because I am having an absolute nightmare trying to record this episode. I'm really hoping this time we work out okay. Well, welcome back to Why Not, guys. I am just back, not just back, I'm back a couple of days, but obviously I've been putting out episodes every week for the last couple of weeks, but I actually recorded a lot of them at the end of May, start of June. So this is actually my first time recording in like 3 or 4 weeks. And this is also, unfortunately, going to be the last episode before the summer, because I'm going to take a break. I always take a break between July and September, and it helps me just clear the head, get ready, because putting out podcasts every week can be difficult, getting people in together, getting people for interviews, getting my own ideas. So I take that little break so I can come back refreshed. In the meantime as well, I'm going to organize some interviews for the podcast. We're going to be returning to episode 200. I have a really good idea for it, but I'm not going to talk any more about that now. What I actually wanted to talk about today, as it is the 30th of June, this is going to be coming out on the 1st of July, basically a little reflection on the last 6 months, because let's be honest, this year so far has been a whirlwind. It's been mental. 6 months ago, if you told me I'd be living in France, I wouldn't have believed you. I also didn't know I'd be doing it on my own. By the way, totally recommend. It's great crack. And I didn't know Spud was going to be abandoning me like a little shite just after we arrived. But look, it's all happened. It's all here. And I have learned a lot this year. So basically, I have wanted to move abroad for many, many years, and I kind of never thought it was going to happen. But then I actually did come to the point that we're actually going to do it. I was seeing something at the time, and we had planned to move to Spain. Except 10 days before we were due to leave, we broke up. Well, I broke up with him, but there was something not right. The way they dealt with things were not right, and I was like, I'm not moving to another country with someone like that. Unfortunately, I didn't think it would be safe for me. And do you know what? This was the first time in a long time, or maybe like ever, that I can really think that I actually made a decision for me and put myself first and didn't let like the other person dictate what was happening. And I kind of committed. I got my head around moving, and you know what? I went anyway, because I've been talking about it for so long, and there was every reason not to do it, and there'd been any reason for it to be delayed and delayed again. And I even tried to delay it a little bit longer because I wanted to play 1 or 2 more rugby matches before I left, but I couldn't change it. Couldn't change the ferry. So off me and Spud went, and yeah, I travelled all the way across France with a little piggy in tow. And the little fecker decided to die 2 weeks after we got there. So that was a really, really rough day. Rough week, rough year. There was a good couple of weeks where it was really sad because I would come home. I wasn't out a lot because I work from home, but it's always him rustling about, or you come home and he'd run up to you to like look for food, or wake up in the morning and he was there, and I was alone in a new country where I don't really speak the language. Like, I understand a lot of French, but again, there's a big difference. I'm down regional French, people speak very quickly. They have accents. They have the Catalan influence here, which I didn't think of until I moved here. And I have social anxiety, which means I find it very hard to speak French. So I was quite alone, quite isolated. There are some people who speak English that I've met that I know I can talk to. But I didn't know very few people here, and my one best friend decided to leave. And it was really tough. But I knew like I was here for a reason and I had to kind of stick with it, if that makes sense. So I kept going. Like it wasn't a case of I was going to throw in the towel, for want of a better description, or just leave. So we just had to get used to the silence, which sounds really sad. And the first few days, well, coming home and him not being there was very, very difficult as well. But keeping going has been like one of the best decisions. Like, decisions still go. Has been one of the best decisions I made because I did it for myself and no one else was controlling it. And it's really, really pushed me out of my comfort zone. Like I can't believe the situations I put myself in, which have not like been dangerous or anything like that, but getting to know people and reaching out to people and stuff like that, which is something that like, I wouldn't have done so much. And it's not been something that's happened like overnight. I spent a year, I would say, building the confidence to get to this point. And because of that, now I'm working in a different industry that I'm kind of more interested in, I suppose. I'm moving away from fitness stuff. I think my time with that has kind of run its course. And I'm moving into different industries, like working in marketing and stuff like that, which is like really interesting and kind of brings that media stuff in where I just get to like learn new things constantly, I think. And like I've traveled solo back and forth to Ireland, across to the UK, for some exciting stuff, but I'm not going to elaborate on that. But I feel very comfortable. Like I have had no problem traveling my own a good bit anyway, but like I just feel like it's new level. Like I'm going to see Robbie Williams in Barcelona on Saturday, and that is literally like I have booked it to go on my own. I'm going to get the bus down. I'm going to get the bus back next morning, and I'm just going to have fun and enjoy it. And for a long time, like I wouldn't have gone to things like that on my own. I would have been too nervous unless I had someone with me. And now I'm just like, well, I do everything else alone anyway, so why would it be a big issue? It's going to be good crack, and I love seeing Robbie Williams, and I didn't want to miss this tour. I haven't missed any of his tours, and I honestly don't think I would have done it a year ago. I found people to meet up with to go to concerts and stuff, but like this is me just going solo and going for the fun. I'm sure I'll make friends at it because like there's plenty of like crazy Robbie Williams fans around. I think as well though, like probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned this year is like to listen to my gut. Like there were so many signs I should have ended that relationship that I was going to move away with long before I did, but I didn't act. And like, look, to be honest, it did cost me. I lost like €300 because of it, because we had booked an Airbnb. There was a lot of energy put into that I could have not wasted. And I don't want to say it was waste time, because it wasn't. There was a lot of good times with it. But I think I know better now. Another thing, like, and it's funny because sometimes I struggle to like make decisions for myself, and you're kind of thinking about how they will feel, but like, why should you feel worse or put yourself aside for someone else? And I finally kind of, I suppose, had the strength to step away and go like, no, you deserve to feel safe. You do not need to put yourself in this situation. And I didn't. And I remember when I broke up with him, I do therapy once a month. I used to do it weekly, but now I do it once a month. And I literally cried, not because of the breakup, because I was so emotional that I actually put myself first. And that was such a big thing for me. And I think people should think about that more if they can, like try and put themselves first, put them into situations that are better for them. Um, and as I said, like, I suppose I don't regret, like, I don't, the different things there, but like I've learned a lot. And again, it makes me more, I suppose, strict on what I want when I'm going into, if I'm going to other relationships or when I'm like making decisions. I need to like decide for me. And sometimes I'm like that for other people. People will tell me something, I'm like, just do this. Which might be a bit intense for them, but I try to be objective and logical as much as possible. Which isn't always possible, by the way. I am human. I do get emotional, and I know I'm not quite where I want to be at this point in that sense, but I will get there. You know, I've also like built a lot of like routine and systems into my life. I've used AI to help me with that. I use my AI planner to like decide what I'm doing and talk through it and make sure that I'm in check for that. And I know for me, I find a lot of the time that it's very easy for me to say really focused, especially if there's some big deadlines coming up, say really focused for like a couple of weeks straight. And then as soon as I break the routine, I feel like I'm going to fall off the edge of the world in relation to it. And I kind of have, but I haven't at the same time. So I did keep things going a good bit while I was away. I had a lot of, I didn't schedule enough. I should have planned more ahead, which I didn't because I assumed I'd have more time to do things, which I did, but I let myself drift. And, it feels like everything's fallen off. This episode, I've normally recording episodes, Friday or Sunday night to go out on a Monday, or sorry, Tuesday. So I would have had like a teaser out yesterday. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. Now coming home, I came back here on Wednesday, and it's been a bit full on, and the weather's been fucking horrible. As in, like, it's been so warm. Like, I'm just constantly moist. Yeah, I'm saying that horrible words. Like, I can feel on now, it's all sweaty. And I'm just sitting still. So, now this episode is being recorded at 8:30 the night before. I'm gonna have to turn it around and get a little teaser out within the like next couple of hours. And that is my fault. And then I've obviously had some issues with trying to create the script and trying to get it recorded. But again, these are my fault because I didn't do it sooner. I could have had this issue yesterday, but I'd still have more time. And, I was very close to scrapping it because I built up a really good script and then I lost it. And then when I cancelled here as well, I was so close to being like, fuck this, not doing it. But I made a commitment, and this is the last episode I said for the summer, and I'm doing it. And I feel like that's a win as well. And I found like the AI system I use it to list out what I'm doing, and it calls me out if I'm not doing the stuff or, doing it the way I said I would. And having that system where I repeat what I've done every day has been really good for building my confidence and really getting me like up into a better mindset in myself. And I think I just need to get back into that routine again. I think I'll be able to do that no bother. I also have more deadlines coming up, which is great. But I think one really big thing as well I've been taught this year is, and last year, is you're not stuck. So like, I'm 34 now. I've just turned 34. Majority of people I know are getting married or having kids or already have done that. Settling down, and I've run off to France on my own. And like, I think just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean you have to do it too. If that's not what suits you for your life plan, it doesn't have to. Also, if you do want that, that's great as well. There's nothing, neither is more valid, neither makes more, not make more sense, but neither like has to be the be all and end all. Like, it's never too late to make a big change. Obviously certain scenarios make it harder. Like, obviously I have no kids or anything like that before I did this, so it's a lot easier. But stepping away from things and making big changes is okay. You know, you're allowed to start over. You don't have to be a certain thing at a certain time. No one's going to change that for you. And you're also allowed to do something just because you've always wanted to. That's totally fine too. Well, unless it's murdering someone, please don't do that. That's not ideal. You know, there is like great empowerment in doing stuff, and it is very easy to feel like you're stuck and you can't move from where you are. But if you stay somewhere that makes you unhappy, like you're not going to get better, if that makes sense. You need to either establish if that's what you want to do, or are you happy being that way in that position, and if not, like, you need to figure out what you can do to change it. Like, if you are thinking of like making a shift or doing something, just do it. Like, go for it, you know. You don't have to be like me and move across the country with a guinea pig. Move to a different country, or go traveling to different places. But like, you know, you can start small. You can be like, try one thing, see, like, because the thing is, like, even if you do want it, see, the thing is, you might think you want it, but you don't. And when you actually move towards it, you don't actually like it, and you're like, meh, not arsed. Or thing as well, like, it will be scary and you will not want to do it. Like, there's a lot of times where I've had a lot of friction in doing what I think I want to do. And when you actually do it, you're like, oh yeah, no, I did want to do this. But when you start to realize that, like, there will always be friction. It will always be difficult. And you know, that's normal, because if you're not used to doing something, you are going to find it hard to like step out of that comfort zone. And once you acknowledge that, that makes it a lot easier. But like, you might find there's some things that you try out and you don't want to do it, and that's also like perfectly fine as well, you know. Things can turn out not to be what you wanted. And you know, like, as I said, I was talking about the structure, you know, like, that's something that's really helped me in all the chaos to build some form of structure. And you know, when I stick to it, like, it gives my day plan in the morning, I have to review it at night, and when I do stick with it, I do feel more grounded, and I feel like confident in myself and clear in my intentions. And it isn't just, that's it, like, it's not just a productivity tool. It's actually, like, it is a confidence builder, and that's one thing I really noticed, like, saying things out loud, and just reminding myself daily that I'm doing more than I give myself credit for. Like, it seems like all these simple things, but I suppose when you get in the routine of doing these things, you kind of take it for granted how much you're actually doing. And you know, having yourself reminded, you go, oh, actually, I am achieving quite a lot right now. And I think a lot of people need to step back and think about that, because a lot of us are doing a lot more than we give ourselves credit for. And it's very easy to get down on yourself when you don't acknowledge your achievements, how little they are, because especially if they like almost becomes a standard for you, you kind of just expect that from you all the time, and you can't always give 100% output. That's normal. Like that, like, I did have to take a little break because I've been working quite a bit, or working and pushing quite hard coming up to taking a break, and I still worked through being away, but I did have to like pull things back a little bit on my own side, my own content creation, because I just needed that little pause. And you know, again, it's okay, we are human, we're not robots. You can't just keep machining away all the time. Sometimes something's got to give. And I guess, like, we are wrapping up the end of the first half of the year. Like, we are 6 months done, which is wild. As I said, I can't believe it's 6 months already. But I want to I'd love to invite you guys to ask yourselves and think about these things, maybe journal on it, where you're going to go, because I already have, my world has been flipped right upside down, and I think my plans that I thought were going to happen are probably going to change massively now. I'm not going to go into more detail than that. That's just, I know there's going to be another change soon. But I'm not telling you about that yet. But I think we need to sit down, and everyone floats through life just passively. But you need to ask yourself, is this the life I want? Is this what I'm looking for? And really, really question it, don't be yeah, fine. Look into it. And is this what I want to be building? Where do you see, what is your direction in life? For me, again, I said where I'm going is where I want to be going. Things are going to change a little bit soon. I know that, but that's okay as well. I'm very flexible to moving now because I've done this big, massive shift. It makes any other moves a lot easier for me. And if what you want to be building is not what could you change right now, this week, this month, it doesn't have to be a massive change. Like I said, they're little small steps, try things out, test the water. Do you like this? No? Okay, let's do something else. Let's try something else. And look, as I said, I'm still figuring out a lot of stuff behind the scenes. As I said, I'm not going to talk about it yet, but the process is continuing. You're never 100% finished. So I think it's okay for other people to feel that way as well. It is a never ending cycle. I think if you're looking to be finished, you're not gonna be happy, or it's the only time finish is when you're dead. So you better keep trucking, or keep finding and challenging yourself. And the more you do it, the easier it gets to do. Some things I do now, people are like, whoa, that's mad. And I was like, oh yeah. Because for me, I'm yeah, it's baseline now, it's easy. And as I said, the process continues. We're still building. There's still setbacks. There are always going to still be setbacks. And once we know that really helps, I think. And I think once you learn to accept the setbacks, it makes things a lot easier, And this is as I said, this is my final episode for the summer break. I'm taking a step back, not as in from life or anything, but I do like to take a step back in July and August from the podcast, and it helps me reset. It helps me get focused, and then I can start trying to get in interviews and get them all done and ready to go for when we come back in September. I will be coming back with episode 200. I have something I want to do for episode 200, but again, I'm not going to tell you that yet. You will find out when it is live. But I'm going to be getting guests back. I'm looking for interviews, and still trying to continue these conversations that matter, asking why not constantly until you're blue in the face of me. 200 episodes later, we should know why not. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Oh, it's so hot here. My brain is not working. And that is the joys of coming home in a heat wave. But look, if there's someone you'd love to hear on the show, or you'd like to come on yourself as well, I'd love you to drop me a message, because I'd love to interview anyone who's you can have anything to talk about. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a massive earth-shattering thing. I've talked to people from all walks of life who do all sorts of really cool things. So I would love you to drop me a message so we can have a chat, and we can figure out a topic we can talk on. It can be anything, so all is welcome. And look, until then, I just want to thank everyone for listening. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a great summer. I hope you have a lot of fun. I've got 2 weddings in a week coming up in 2 weeks. So I'm going to Italy and Ireland all in the space of a week. So that's going to be fun and interesting. That's if I do not melt in the meantime, because, that whole heat wave here has been fun. There could be no Chrissy by the time the weddings come around. No, I'm only joking. I will be there. I will probably love being back in Ireland because it'll be cold, and I'll be actually prepped for the Italian wedding because I have the practice of the heat here. But yes, I hope you all have a great summer. I hope your years are going well. Hope you take this time to reflect on where things are going in your life. Is it where you want it to go? Is there something you can change? If not, that's okay too. If you're happy where you're going, that's perfect. You know what I mean? It's just a good time to look. I'm going to see you guys back in September. Looking forward to setting up some good interviews with some people and get the ball rolling on them. And, as ever, guys, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. So my Instagram is @StrongTheSaddle with an underscore at the end because someone got there first. But at TikTok, it's @StrongTheSaddle because with no underscore because I got there first. And then my website, if you want to find out more about working with me, is www.chrissyhawkins.com. And yeah, hope you have a great summer, and I will talk to you soon.
I really do appreciate everybody who listens to this podcast. So if you please could help me with the algorithm and leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And even, if you want to reach out and suggest topics for me, I'd be delighted to hear from you. Drop me a DM on Instagram or TikTok. And thanks again for listening.